It will still take time before we know the full extent of what happened in the days leading up to and during the deadly insurrection. But what is certain is the danger our nation faced, despite any attempts to downplay it. And this morning, one of the people leading the House investigation into what happened, Wyoming Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, had this message for anyone trying to do so.
All of my colleagues, anyone who attempts to minimize what happens, anyone who denies the truth of what happened, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. And history is watching, and history will judge them.
Joining me now to put today and the past year in better perspective, presidential historian Douglas Brinkley, history professor at Rice University, and also with me, former RNC chairman Michael Steele. A big thanks to both of you, gentlemen. Doug, let me start with you. Congresswoman Cheney invoking history in her comments this morning. Do you think she's right that history is going to judge those who minimize or even deny what happened a year ago?
Absolutely, she's right. You know, Liz Cheney has become our true profiles in courage. The John F. Kennedy Presidential Library Foundation every year gives an award. It should go to her. She reminds us of brave Republicans in the past, like Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt, Margaret Chase Smith, John McCain. But we have film footage of what happened on January 6th. We have proof. Dwight Eisenhower during World War II made sure all the Holocaust camps were filmed. So we've got the film footage. So now we're combating conspiracy theorists, deniers, and some, trumpeteers. But my worry is, what do we call this and make sure we honor this day, this dark stained day every year? So we've got to keep saying January 6th. I think it is like December 7th, Pearl Harbor, and it is like the 9/11 tragedy. And we also need to not be afraid to call it the Trump insurrection of January 6th, because in the end, all roads to what went wrong that day lead to Donald Trump's ill behavior, his anti-democratic stance he took, the big lie after the presidential election tallies came in and Joe Biden had won by millions of votes.
Michael Steele, here's the thing. It's not just folks who are trying to downplay it. You've got a lot of folks now, dozens of people who are trying to use what happened at the Capitol on January 6th to win elections. Politico reporting, quote, at least 57 individuals who played a role in that day's events, either by attending the Save America rally that preceded the riots, gathering at the Capitol steps, or breaching the Capitol itself, are now running for elected office. Is that, Michael, a continuation of what we've seen in recent years of the Republican Party's turn, or is this a new chapter entirely?
I think it's much more of an expansion, because in the past you had within the party structure individuals who tried to control, I guess would be a good word, that escalation, to control the entry point in which, sort of these authoritarian, radicalized conspiracy types would work their way into primaries. I know it was a fight on my watch, during my watch as chairman of the committee. The biggest thing I had to battle was, Christine O'Donnell, who had to declare she wasn't a witch. Today, now we're pushing back against people who are, declaring that, Joe Biden is an illegitimate president, the election was stolen. So it's a very different thing. But here's the rub. Those individuals are running because there are people who are prepared to vote for them. So as much as we want to just, push this up against the individuals like Trump and others who are engaged in this, it ultimately will rest on us. And this is the real story that history will tell, is what did the American people do? How did they respond? Did you elect that SOB, or did you, push back against them? Did you embrace authoritarianism? Or did you repel against it because it's anti-democratic? That's ultimately the test of history here, because these individuals have power because we, the people, give it to them. We don't do that if we tell them, this ain't us, and you're not getting any closer to our Constitution and to our institutions of governing. That's where you begin to see the change in the current. But right now, there's no accountability. There's no pushback, Craig. So this is why you see the kind of momentum out there around the country in these hot spots, because the people, in essence, are feeding it.
Doug, to Michael's point, I mean, there are a number of polls that have come out over the past few days and weeks, and these polls show just how sharply Americans are divided over how they view the attack, despite the images, despite the pictures. A Suffolk USA Today poll found 85% of Democrats say January 6th was a protest aimed at overturning a legitimate election. 56% of Republicans say it was aimed at preventing a fraudulent election. With these kinds of divisions and the possibility, Doug, that the people who literally stormed the Capitol could start winning elections, what would that signal to you?
It would signal the death of democracy, the birth of a type of a native authoritarianism. And it's quite frightening, and it's why Michael Steele appropriately said we've got to push back. The people have to push back now. January 6th has to be a crusade that's every day. As the New York Times op-ed said, every day is January 6th, meaning it's not just about voting in the United States, but we have to make sure that our elections aren't sabotaged, or there's not subversion, that there's not sorts of wild-eyed gerrymandering going on behind our backs. Right now, our secretaries of states in different states are under attack. There are death threats going on to public officials. So we are in a real neo-civil war, and it's a battle between democracy versus a kind of nativist authoritarianism. And it's why Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are heading to Atlanta. They didn't connect the dots today, but they're going to promote the John Lewis voting rights. We've got to secure free and fair elections. That's the heart and soul of our democracy. That's been our great export. We are the world's oldest democracy. And if we don't defend that, we're in dark, troubled times.
Douglas Brinkley, Michael Steele, a big thanks to both of you on this January 6th. We expect remarks from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi from the House floor in just a few minutes. But before I hand things over to my colleague Andrew Mitchell, we wanted to take a moment to remember the officers who died in the days and weeks after the attack on the Capitol. Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick suffered a stroke in the hours after the attack and died of natural causes. Officer Sicknick joined the force in 2008. 4 other officers who responded to the attack died by suicide last year. Metropolitan Police Officer Jeffrey Smith, a 12-year veteran, and Capitol Police Officer Howard Liebengood, who joined the force in 2005, died just days after the attack. Metropolitan Police Officer Gunther Hachida had served since 2003. And Officer Kyle DeFreitag had been with the Metropolitan Police Department since November 2016.